I don't know how I did this, but I went into Where the Crawdads Sing completely blind. I never read the book, never saw a trailer for the film, didn't know what it was about. I didn't even know who starred in it. I had hoped that this would make it fresh and interesting. It didn't. Based on the 2018 novel by Delia Owens, the film stars Daisy Edgar-Jones as Kia, a young woman who is not so affectionately known as Marsh Girl around town. Set in 1969 in North Carolina, a young man is found dead in the marsh, beneath a fire tower, with injuries that suggest it is murder, and the first, and only, suspect is the notorious Marsh Girl. The story is less courtroom drama and much more coming-of-age story. In an inelegant fashion, when presented with her court-appointed attorney, Kia immediately opens up about her home life, and we flash back to 1953, which shows Kia, Jojo Regina, as a child, growing up in the marsh with a loving mother, several siblings, and an abusive father. One by one, they all leave her, and she is eventually left to figure out life on her own. Collider video of the day. The story continues to cut between the courtroom and Kia's life in the marsh. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to this. There will be a few scenes in the court, then lengthy scenes showing Kia's life before the court case. It honestly felt like director Olivia Newman and screenwriter Lucy Aliber would have preferred to make a story about Kia's life, and only included the courtroom portions because it was part of the book, and therefore they had to. Kia, as a character, doesn't fit with what you are expected to believe she is supposed to be. After speaking with a friend who read the book, I learned that Kia was supposed to be a wild child, borderline feral, which is completely understandable from someone who raised herself, completely alone, out in the marsh, with no electricity or running water. And yet, Kia held herself as a fairly calm, reasonable child. She is always clean, her hair is always brushed, and her clothing is well kempt. She runs around without shoes for the entire movie, but her feet aren't muddy. Ever. As she grows up and is portrayed by Edgar-Jones, the problems become different. Her mother allegedly taught her children, or, at least, Kia, how to speak properly, and that ain't isn't a real word. And yet, her mother never taught her to read or write. When Kia is a teenager and meets up with a local boy, Taylor John Smith, who was friends with her brother, he teaches her to read and write. In a matter of weeks, he has taught her the finer points of molecular biology. Not only was this wholly unrealistic, there was something upsetting in the idea that it required a boy to come in and fix the girl. Granted, Kia eventually uses her own knowledge of nature and drawing skills to eventually become a published naturalist, but this doesn't happen without Tate's suggestion, and a list of publishers from him. Equally as upsetting was the second boy who comes into Kia's life, Chase, Harris Dickinson, the one whom Kia is on trial for murdering. He is wealthy and one gets the feeling that he is just taking a walk on the wild side when he starts dating Kia. Kia doesn't see that she is being used by Chase, and that makes for some very uneasy scenes. Where the Crawdads Sing is a weirdly uncomfortable movie, on many different levels. If you haven't read the book, I can't imagine you would want to see this movie. If you have read the book, I say proceed with great caution. Rating: D. Where the Crawdads Sing comes to theaters on July 15th.